Hey there, I'm Michael Woodside, and I'm an animator at the Walt Disney Animation Studios. Every year in early April, the Animation Studios host something called the annual Caricature Show, where all the artists get to draw each other. That was started by John Musker in the late 1970s. I thought maybe today it would be fun to draw Walt Disney himself to celebrate the Caricature Show, so let's get started. The first thing I like to do is just do the first big shape on the head. So we want to decide what's the head shape we're going to use. So Walt has this great, he's kind of got he's known for his pronounced strong nose, so I want to make sure I leave a lot of room in the middle of the face for that. So just going to start here. And this gives me an outline of the face, a little center line. And I work really loose here so that I can find the drawing as I go. Sort of an indication for the hair. And then some real quick shapes for the ears. So this just lets me know what direction he's looking and how I should build it from there. So when doing a caricature, it's there's a couple of ways to go about it. The way that I like to try, what I'm trying for is not just getting a drawing that looks like the person, but also at best can feel like the person. So I want to try to capture what is the soul of the subject. So you have to make some decisions beforehand. I'm going to start just working out some of the hair detail while we talk about that. For me, Walt is kind of an internal optimist, and he has a lot of pep. He's someone who represents happiness to a lot of people. I know myself included. So I want to really capture that spirit of hope and optimism in this drawing because I want it to feel like the Walt that I think of. So I'm going to start just working out some of the details here. Sometimes I work out details while I'm thinking of other things I need to work on. So this is kind of the necessary polish work that put it in really early. But that's just for me to think about what I might want to do with the expression. So this just gives him that really nice, he always had his hair pulled back and really clean, so even some white in there for some shine. And I want to keep it really sketchy because, Walt was an animator, and so I think he would appreciate this style. So it doesn't need to be a final finished pristine line. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's do that nose. We're going to put the nose right here in the center. So you have this great long nose, so I'm just going to indicate that this line here. So the nose starts all the way up at the top. It's funny, for all of my life, Walt has reminded me of my grandpa. We called him Opa on my mom's side, and he had the same kind of charm, the same sense of humor, I felt like, and really the same attitude as Walt. He also had a similar mustache, so I had to make sure to get that, give him a big smile. I know it's not just me, but it feels like I have a personal connection. It feels like Walt was part of the family. I grew up in Florida, Central Florida, near Disney World, and so we would always visit Disney all the time. And so we were constantly around this world, and so I was just enamored by the magic that he created. It's alive then, it's alive now. And I think all of that is because of his sense of optimism and a sense of hope and promise, and just always looking forward. So I definitely wanted to capture that spirit in here. A little chin. So yeah, without his mustache, it doesn't look like Walt. So we have to make sure to add that in, make sure that it's lining up. He had a little space between his lip and the mustache that I want to make sure I keep in there. So I like using this China marker because I think it has a lot of texture in it and I can get some loose lines and I don't have to get real precious. I might come in later with more detail So, but for the time being, I want to make sure that I get a gestural loose drawing. And then I can work on the side of the marker and get a little more detail here. So yeah, I think some people think of caricatures as mean drawings or angry, offensive drawings, but I don't. I think caricatures are kind of like a visual love letter to somebody. It just says, this is, hey, I was thinking about you, and I think, when I think of you, I think of this. And if you're thinking positively, you can really do some really nice drawings for people. I know they appreciate it. Let's just build that out a little bit. Great, so that feels more like Walt, now that we have the nose, his neck in, and then we're gonna just go ahead and work on the clothes real quick. I feel like because of the television program, everyone saw him in a suit all the time, so I want to give him a suit. Tie. It wasn't like a business suit. It didn't have really hard shoulders, so I think keeping the shoulders soft helps him feel more casual, more like Walt. Just a pleasant dreamer. Caricatures are really fun to do around the house too. So if you have a brother or sister, you guys can draw each other, be nice, and just take a look at each other and try to figure out what are the shapes that are specific and unique. Like, is your brother tall? Does your sister have really long hair? Those sort of things are great. So I'm just going to give a little detail on the tie. Yeah, you want to try to find some nice characteristics of somebody that you want to accentuate. So that we have here. Let's go ahead and work on the eyes. Again, he's an optimist, right? So I want to have him really brighten up. So it's that famous Sherman Brothers song from the Carousel of Progress. I always think of that song when I think of Walt. So I'm going to have him looking up towards the future, towards the sky. Work out some of these details over here. What's fun about caricatures too is that there really isn't a way to do it. It's not like you have to follow the way that they're drawn before. Everyone sort of makes it up as they go, so you could decide the way and really make a lot of artistic choices that are yours. Hit a little dimple, make sure we get that. So you can use photo reference to really get a sense of who the person is, or if you know them well, like it's someone in your family, you can go from memory. Sometimes those are the funnest drawings. So I'm going to add a little bit of shading. There's something special I want to do in the eyes, so I'm going to save that for the end and darken here. Cool. So I think when we do the eyes, I'm going to switch over to a different pencil. Get a little more detail. So I always try to find something special to put in the drawing that feels like it's a characteristic only of that person. Because you want the drawing to really make someone feel like, wow, they really captured the soul of that person. And I think to really help accentuate the idealism on Walt, I'm going to give him little Mickey shines in his eyes. Tidy up the drawing, give him some more shading. Yeah, Walt had a lot of influence on people from all over the world, and I don't think you can get there without being an optimist and without seeing the best in people. And so that is what I'm trying to capture from Walt today, is that he saw the best in the world and saw how it could be better. So I think if it weren't for him, I wouldn't have the job that I have, and I wouldn't be inspired to do the thing that I do. And I think that's true for a lot of people. So hopefully this captures a little bit of that. Let's go ahead and give him a little cheeks. I think all that's left is for us to sign it. I'm going to sign mine right here. Here we go. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope you had a good time. We'll see you around later. Keep drawing. Bye now.